Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's see what's happening out there in the world with stocks are moving higher. Let's take a look at some of the movers here today. We can do that with Bloomberg's Christine Aquino. Christine, what are you looking at?
Let's take a look at AMD, Paul. Big news today, of course, given that Meta deal. And of course, that is doing well for its shares. Ticker AMD, those shares are up now more than 7%, so extending the opening gains that we've already seen. And so the deal is this. Meta will buy AMD chips and computers designed to run their artificial intelligence models over a 5-year stretch beginning in the second half of 2026. There's also a share purchase component of this deal. And the series of transactions, according to AMD CEO Lisa Su, will be worth, quote, double-digit billions of dollars. So that's going to be a big deal for AMD, being reflected in their shares. Now, if there were any concerns over circular funding here, that is not evident because it seems like markets really just want a little bit of a break from the tech downer narrative that we've been dealing with the last couple of weeks. And so, and again, for Meta, this is part of their push to aggressively front load computing capacity per CEO Mark Zuckerberg.
And I guess the circular funding story is no longer so concentrated to just NVIDIA. Now it's expanded.
Well,
exactly.
Here's the thing I don't get. I mean, in this U.S. economy, in this U.S. stock market, Company A does not buy a stake in Company B.
They just make investments in each other.
I mean, they don't take equity stakes. But we see that in Asia. We see that in lots of other economies, but not here. But that's changing.
Does that become messier, you think?
I don't like it. There's a reason we don't do it here. You don't buy stakes in your competitors, your customers, your things like that. I'm not sure it's good governance, but we'll see. But again, other parts of the world, they do it. So here we go.
There you go.
All right,
what's next?
Let's take a look at Warner Brothers. Again, in the news, given the latest developments there. So ticker WBD, those shares are up just 0.7%, so extending small gains as well. And so the latest is that, yes, Warner Brothers is indeed considering a new takeover proposal from Paramount Skydance. They didn't specify what the new terms are, but we did report that it was going to be higher than the $30 a share that Paramount offered previously. And so the kicker is that if Warner Brothers deems this superior to the one that it has already accepted from Netflix, then Netflix will have 4 days to make a counter offers. Just a reminder, Netflix is still offering $27.75 a share for Warner Brothers Studios and streaming businesses, and they're still looking for a spinoff of some of its other businesses there. So it's not going to be the whole company. So we'll see how that's going to be received by the board and investors.
This feels like the slowest moving M&A deal ever.
Yeah, I was telling Tom Keene earlier on
really
surveillance, there's no juice around it, and there should be a ton of juice for these juicy companies, I think, but it was ever running this process for Warner Brothers Discovery. They're just not into the whole, let's have some fun with it.
It's very deliberate.
Exactly. Very deliberate.
What are the guys we're going to still be talking about this 2027?
But I think, Netflix, if Netflix really wants it, they have a much better capital position to do it. So we'll see. Okay. One more.
All right, let's talk about Eli Lilly. So ticker LLY. Those shares not doing too well this morning, down 1.2%. Though it was down a lot earlier, about 3%. So pairing some of those opening losses. And really the news comes from its rival, Novo Nordisk, saying that it will slash its U.S. list prices for Wegovy and Ozempic next year by as much as 50%. And so the read across for Lilly is initially negative, though Citigroup analyst Jeff Meacham saying that the price reduction that could bring back price war concerns. But at the same time, the main beneficiaries of this are likely going to be people with high deductible plans or those who pay co-insurance, which really represents a relatively small proportion of new starts. But, bad for Lilly stocks today. Let's see what they're going to answer back with.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.